Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
69. Life is challenging and difficult. No one gets out alive. Time to suck it up, Buttercup. Get ready for a monster-sized boot, aimed to help you get traction on personal change and get living. I am John Curran, your host. Join me as I share my journey, exploring the forces that motivate us to change and help us get through whatever life throws at us. A swift kick in the ass. Life on your terms. Welcome to another episode of A Swift Kick in the Ass. This is your host, John Curran. Today's topic is one that's near and dear to my heart, my body, and all the aches and pains I go through being a 58-year-old doing martial arts. The topic today is called Reinventing Your Life One Ache at a Time. Martial arts over the age of 50. So pretty long title, but this has been a long process. I think I've been doing martial arts seriously for about 6 years. And it all really began, it began a long, long time ago, way before my son started taking martial arts, but I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to it right now. When Tommy and I were young, you remember Tommy, my old co-host. When we were young, we were fascinated with Bruce Lee movies. We loved, this was during the 70s. Karate was hot. There were karate studios opening up all over the place. And in fact, the recreational center or community center, I think, in Hollywood, Florida, offered judo one summer. And I took it and my dad took it as well. And my dad and I used to, practice at home. And of course, we had that, it was the 70s, so it was that really, really thick shag carpeting, and it was awesome for, wrestling on and stuff. And I used to wrestle with my dad. We'd clear the chairs out of the way in the living room, and we'd wrestle. And that's where I learned how to fight dirty, because when you're a little kid and you're fighting your dad, and he's, he wasn't clobbering me. He was having fun. We were just having a good time. But, nonetheless, I wanted to win. And I learned how to bend toes and do all sorts of things to get out of what I guess would be jujitsu now. Anyhow, when my son was about 5, I enrolled him in a karate school here in Chesterfield, Virginia. And he was having a blast. But I guess I didn't finish really my thought, though, going back to as a kid. Tommy and I were fascinated with Bruce Lee, but the fact is that Tommy thought he could do it. I didn't. And Tommy practiced, and Tommy actually took some classes. I did take a judo class, so, I wasn't totally counting myself out, but I never envisioned myself doing anything close to what Bruce Lee could do. And in fact, I really still don't. Bruce Lee was amazing. But I did not think that I could go very far in martial arts, let alone become a black belt. And now very close to getting my second degree black belt. That will be happening sometime later this year. At least that's what I'm planning for. But I've been at it a while, and it probably takes about 4 years, I guess, to get a black belt and then about 4 years for each. So it's been an adventure. But, as you can imagine, I'm involved in training. I go two times a week with my son. And at 58 years old, I think I'm in the best shape of my life. But am I without my aches and pains? No. Of course I have aches and pains. I'm an old man. I have old man hips. I have to work very diligently at stretching, and I've had to learn my body, really. I have a hip abnormality primarily in my left hip that limits the range of motion that I have, and it's taken me a little while to kind of figure out how to work that for me, because martial arts is an art. It's an art form. You apply it in your own unique individual way, how it works for you. So do I have aches and pains? Absolutely. But as I was, taking a shower yesterday, I realized my rib really hurt and I was sore. And I was thinking, you know what? My general aches and pains of being old have pretty much gone away. My aches and pains are now related more to my pushing my body and pushing the limits of my old man hips and continuing to adapt my body to a rigorous training schedule, because I'm old and I have to work hard at it. I have to push myself. But no matter how bad I feel or how I feel, before I go into a class, I always come out feeling great. And in between classes, I'm doing stretching, I'm trying different movements and so forth, and I'm practicing. It's really becoming a part of my life. And that's what a practice is something that you do really on a daily basis, becomes part of your life. So I have a question to ask you about your aches and pains. As you get older, we all get aches and pains, but are yours just do your aches and pains have really good meaning, or is it just because you're getting old and lazy and just sitting around and letting yourself get old and just giving in to the fact that if you don't work at it, you have to work at it, or you will get out of shape? I know that if I didn't do what I do, if I didn't look after my diet, these are choices that I make, granted, and you might, you don't have to make the same choices as I do. For me, this works for me. It may not work for you, and that's all right. I'm sorry if I came across as being so judgmental, but the fact is that I really do believe that we have a lot of choice in how we feel. You can decide if you're willing to live with it or not, and if you're not saying you can totally get rid of your aches and pains, but you can certainly work at them and reduce them, or at least change it. Well, I guess what I found is through my training is every time I would overcome a hurdle and addressing a specific ache or pain that I had, or some issue that I had going on with my body at the time, another one would crop up right away. It was almost like a domino effect, to where you just have to keep going down the list. And I've been doing that, been stretching, been exercising, been going to class, at least twice a week, been, sparring with my friends when I can. But not putting all that much effort into it, but consistent effort. And eating right and really trying to flood my body with super nutrients. I take a Ancient Nutrition Super Greens powder, which I mix it in with some orange juice, and I have that daily. I was quite frankly disgusted by it when I first smelled it. You maybe don't want to do that. You don't want to mix it with water like they say that you should. I wouldn't recommend it. It turned me off from it. It sat in my pantry for a couple of months. Then I mixed it with orange juice, and it made all the difference in the world, and now I crave it. But I feel a difference. It's a noticeable difference. I think when you flood your body with super nutrients, that your body has what it needs to do whatever repair or building or rebuilding that it needs to do. I'm not a medical doctor. I don't know, but that's what it seems to me, and it seems to be working for me pretty well because I'm 58 and I feel like I'm in my 30s. And in fact, one of the other black belts, in fact, Neil is a grandmaster. He's a master, not a grandmaster. That means he has eight degrees, eight levels of black belt. He's a pretty cool guy, badass. He could kill you just by looking at you. But he made mention of when I first started, they weren't really sure if I was going to cut the mustard because I was in pretty rough shape. I was achy. I was in aches and pains. I was still fighting inflammation in my body, even though I had changed my diet and so forth. Still fighting some health issues. But he says I moved in. I came in. I was moving like a 70-year-old man, and now I'm moving like a 30-year-old man, and I'm 58, and I feel great. Martial arts does address the core components of who we are, and that is mentally, physically, and spiritually. There is absolutely a spiritual connection, and there's absolutely a mental connection in between your mind and your spirit and your body. And training brings all of that out. And what's so interesting to me is that I started out doing very gentle, very general type of stretching, but over this time, my stretching has evolved. And it's moved to a different level, whereas now I'm doing compound exercises, and I've moved beyond. I mean, these were incredibly painful stretches to do in the beginning, but I've moved beyond all of that, and now my routine involves, complex stretching and kicks and punches, and it's just night and day difference. And I know that I continue to evolve, and I know I need to continue to learn and grow and evolve. And that is part of martial arts. I think it is something that you can do for your entire life. It's not going to go to waste as you get older because we are learning techniques that do not require strength, because losing your strength is natural. It occurs with everyone. As we get older, we lose our physical strength. It's just the way it is. If you want the swift kick in the ass moment, boom, that's it. We all get weaker as we get older. You can work at it hard. You can do a lot to change it. But ultimately, it's going to catch up eventually. But I do really think that you can delay it. And if you look at the stars of today, people who have been out there in the public's eye for years and years and years, you could tell exercise has made a definite difference in their life, and that they continue to do that, and they continue to talk about how important exercise is to their life. Look at Chuck Norris. He's in amazing shape. Look at Arnold Schwarzenegger, Stallone, I mean, just all the old action stars, Dolph Lundgren. Probably butchering their names, but hopefully you know who I'm talking about. These action stars from like the 80s and 90s, they're still kicking it. They're still fighting. They're still active. Steven Seagal is, he's a big guy. He's not in the best shape, I don't think, but I wouldn't mess with him. He knows how to kill you like 100 different ways in a heartbeat. Is that my goal? Maybe. No, it's not. But people go into martial arts for a number of different reasons. It could just be for general exercise, general health. It could be that you want to learn how to fight. It could be that you want to improve your confidence. It could be that you just want to hang out with a cool group of people who are interested in bettering themselves. Who knows? And who cares? Just go out there and do it. And it doesn't even matter. People ask me all the time, is it karate? What form is it? I do different types of forms. I'm not a strict traditionalist by any means. I guess I do a mixed type of martial arts, but that sounds so badass and octagon that I'd be misleading you if I led you to believe I do that. I don't. Not that. I have no interest in getting to an octagon fighting for my life. Thank you very much. I do it to protect myself and my family. If I need to use my skills, I want to be confident enough to know that I can stand my ground, and I have the actions to back up my words. That's why I do it. Like I said, you might have some other reason. It's not any better or worse than mine. It's really what matters to you for your own life, just as my own opinion matters for mine. So I encourage you to, if you're going to have aches and pains as you get older, you might as well put some meaning behind it. I know why I'm sore in my ribs. It wasn't that I was hit in my ribs. It was because in practicing, we're using big like targets, right? These big padded targets, and my training partner Jason, he told me that this year he is really going to be working on strengthening his legs, who are extremely powerful to begin with. And he was joking. He said, they're going to be like Mythos. I was like, Mythos? You mean like Mike Tyson legs? He's like, yes, exactly. Sorry, Mike. I have a deep respect for you. Please don't kick my ass. In any case, these missile legs, the way I was holding the target, I did it to myself. With the way I was holding my target, my forearm went poop, and the way I was holding my arm just went in, got me good. My toes, yeah, they're black and blue. Why? No, because Johnny's knee came in between them and the floor. And I wear those bruises with pride. If I wasn't sparring with my 14-year-old son and wrestling and doing jiu-jitsu and taekwondo, I wouldn't have the opportunity to get these bruises and bang up my body and like I do. I love it. I look forward to it. These bruises, they have a story. And they have purpose. So do your bruises and your bang-ups and your aches and pains, do they have purpose, or is it just that you're getting old? I don't accept getting old as a valid excuse. But that's me. If you want to grow old, just just go along with it. I'm going to fight it all the way. And hopefully that pays off. Now, last year I went snow skiing out in Colorado. I went, last year was the first time I went skiing in 20 years, because when you get married and have kids, things happen. And I really didn't have the funds to go. Plus, I didn't have any friends out there anymore. They all moved away. So with friends out there, I went twice. I skied 2 days last year. First time in 20 years. Did okay. Worked at and trained it some more. So all this past year. And I just came back from skiing just a few weeks ago. I went 3 times this time. Hopefully you see a trend. And it was fantastic. I skied better than I've skied ever in my life. And I think it's just because of my conditioning. If I wasn't stretching, if I wasn't building up my, muscles and my flexibility and all the things that I work on, even mentally, I got caught up in a snowstorm to where there were whiteout conditions. When you're up on top of a ridge at the highest point in Colorado, it's freaking scary. I'm glad I wore my brown pants. But I held myself together, and I just kept on telling myself, got to keep moving, even if it's slow. Just keep going, and I'll eventually make it down. And I kept on skiing a little bit, and I skied within control and slow and stopped when I needed to take breaks because it was exhausting. But I did it. And I lived to tell about it. And as we're heading up there, it was looking pretty rough. And I told my friend, I just said, I don't want to go. He says, you're going to go. He says, you'll regret it if you don't. And he was absolutely right. So thank you, Steve. Appreciate that. And if you can, surround yourself with people who are of like minds and can help you better do the things that you want to do. My friends are much better skiers than I am. One of them lives out in Colorado. He's skied a lot more than I have. Another friend grew up, in the East, but grew up skiing up in the Northeast, up in the ice when he was a little kid. So he's really good in the powder. He's been skiing all around the world. But little old me from Florida, who didn't see snow until he was 21, I have to work a little bit harder than the rest. And I'm okay with that because I feel very privileged when I'm up on that ski lift and I'm looking out at the beautiful landscape and just loving being an American, enjoying the privilege that America offers. It's very, very, very thankful. Also thankful for my friend who put me up and I didn't have to pay for hotel. Plus I have awesome friends. So, let me see, what else can I say here? If I haven't sold you already and you're not running out to the local dojo to get started, let me talk to you a little bit about the physical benefits. So in the last couple of years, I have a desk job during the day. This podcast is really an artistic expression, or creative expression, and therapy for me. Helps me give back. But in any case, I was very tight. Like my muscles were extremely tight, causing back pain. I had chronic back pain for a while. My hamstrings were so tight. It's just crazy. But that affected my flexibility. It also affected, my posture and just everything. So all the stretching that I've been doing so I can kick and punch has improved my flexibility. I went from a 70-year-old to a 30-year-old. Strength, balance, cardiovascular health, all improved. Can check out my numbers. I'm not sharing my health information with you all. I love my audience, but there's got to be limits. My health I'm in great shape health-wise, and I'm not on any prescribed medication, except if you go back to Cocky Balboa episode, you'll know that I had a condition, Peyronie's, and I had curvature in a place. I don't really want to talk about it, but I take some pills to ensure that does not happen again. But it also has an added benefit of keeping me from having to get up and go and use the toilet, use the bathroom in the middle of the night as much. Old men, you know what I'm talking about. Nothing much, but blood pressure, everything is good. Everything is great. Knock on wood. It can change in a heartbeat, but as far as I'm aware right now, it's good. And I want to keep it that way. So I find that it's, once you're in shape, it's much easier to stay in shape than it is getting into shape. Getting into shape takes a lot of time and effort and perseverance. And if you're in that, keep going. It's well worth it. Just know that, while it's not easy, it's so very rewarding, and you're the only person who can do it. Mental benefits. Stress reduction. Ever have a bad day at work? Well, 2 days a week I go in and I kick and punch away my frustrations. It's fun. I always feel good coming out of there. Some days more than others. Increased focus, mental resilience, all of this, I guess what I've learned through the martial arts is even when I don't feel very good, even when I'm injured, I go in and I spar injured. I spar when I don't feel good, because when you're pushed into a fight, I'm not going to ever go and start a fight, but I'll finish it if I can. I'm not going to ever start a fight. I don't want to do that. I'm not that type of person. But I don't want to stand down either. So, that being said, when you don't feel good, and a fight comes to you, you might have to fight. And this trains you. You keep going no matter how you feel. And it trains you to adapt and how to work around that. So it's really good. Social benefits. There is a very supportive community. I've met some awesome friends through that. And their likes, go beyond karate. Like my buddy Jason. He has the same kind of interest too, with mechanics and cars and things that go fast and just, fun. It's pretty awesome. I highly recommend it. And if you haven't picked up on it, it's also time with my son that I will never, ever get back. But he will hold on to that and remember that when he's grown up and I'm gone. Just like I do with my dad. I think about all the good times and all that he taught me. And it's one of the reasons why I'm here sharing this all with you today is because of my dad. Wrestling with him taught me to persevere, to fight the bigger foe, and know that you can win. And it's part of life. You got to stand up for yourself. And sometimes you don't have a choice. You got to stand up and fight. I don't know if it's that time for you. I hope I never have to. But I'm all about being prepared. If I do have to, I want to know how to do it. So get started. There's really no right or wrong way. If you have an interest, I say go for that. Hopefully you have a good school. Recognize that each of the schools are all different. Not only do the forms and the styles that they teach are different, but the way they go about it and the way they approach it is different. The school that my son started off with was traditional Taekwondo, where he was learning all these different forms and things like that. That's all fine and good. He was really good at it. But I couldn't do that. I can do the bow dance form, which got me my black belt, but I'm not very good at memorizing forms like that. It takes me a lot of effort and such. I wouldn't do well in that. I want to learn really how to fight. So I'm learning Muay Thai as well as Jiu-Jitsu and learning different aspects of that and then working it to my physical limitations. So that's how I'm approaching it. But would you approach it the same way? Probably not. Maybe a little, there'll be some similarities, but you'll do it in your own unique way. But finding the right teacher, the right school, it is important, and keep at it. A lot of people, I think, especially right before you get to be black belt, you're pushing your body to the limit, and your body's going to push back. That's when I discovered my abnormal hips. As I went to the doctor because I was having really bad hip pain and it wasn't going away, and he's like, Taekwondo, not for you. But I was like, screw you. I love this. I'm in the best shape of my life. I got to keep going. So that's what I've been doing. And I found another doctor who says, your hips aren't that bad. I can work with you. Let's do this. And that's what I've been doing. Let's see. I guess addressing common fear of injury. As you get older, I know a lot of people injure themselves just by looking the wrong way. Or they get upset and they grimace and they pull something. That's kind of funny if you think about it. You're so out of shape that you have a facial expression that pulls out your back. Okay. I was really scared of hurting myself. But when you are going through the process of, white belt, yellow belt, orange belt, when you go through the belting process, you're conditioning your body. And so you're not asking it to do a lot. I had to learn how to kick. I had to learn how to punch. You're doing it slowly. You're stretching the body, and you can do it. I'm very surprised I didn't ever pull anything. All of my injuries were war injuries, like my toe getting caught between someone's elbow and knee. Yeah, as we were sparring. I'm pretty sure that broke the toe. But I don't care. It's painful. It went away. I don't walk with a limp now because my son did the same thing to my other toe. So yes, you're going to have aches and pains, but you're going to have purpose behind those aches and pains. It's not going to be just, you're going to learn how to get around that and how to deal with that and how to recognize, aches and pains do have a purpose. And if it's a sharp pain, you can't push through stuff like that. You need to get medical attention. I'm not talking about I'm shot and stabbed and keep going. No. Go see a doctor. What are you doing? We're just sparring. We're using equipment to protective padding. A question who you're hanging out with if that's happening to you. Maybe take some ibuprofen if you have some minor aches and pains. get one of those one of the massage guns, professional ones like my wife got me for Christmas. It's awesome, and I thank you, honey, for that. Get a massage. Go to see physical therapists who can teach you how to stretch properly, and do that, and work it into your day, and have a reason for doing it. Reward yourself and keep yourself motivated, and I would love to hear, your stories of success. If you have one that's similar to mine, I really feel like I transformed my life with martial arts. I was thinking about this recently, how proud Tommy would have been. Tommy was very knowledgeable about martial arts. He studied it as a kid, but it was he learned it from the streets. It wasn't a lot of it was not formal. It was self-driven and self-motivated, and I wouldn't want to mess with him, because in the end, like I'll go back, it's an art form. And he took that art very seriously, and he learned very many different ways and approaches, and he read about it, and he studied it, and you don't have to take it to that level. If you just want to go to class a couple times a week and get a little bit of exercise and meet some cool people, hey, you're still better off, I think. But get out there and prepare yourself for trouble, because trouble will eventually come your way, and you want to be prepared for that. And go out. If you have any interest, a lot of schools will offer like free trials and stuff like that. Go and talk. Go to his local school, see what they have to offer. I'm at a school to where there are kids, and so it's like, oh yeah, you fight 13-year-olds. Well, yeah, but he's big for his age. But all joking aside, I do spar with adults as well. And when you spar with kids, a lot of what you're trying to learn in martial arts it's not about how much power you can develop. It's how you do it, and practicing your methods, and controlling your body and your position and your where your feet are, and just there's so many different aspects to it. You're not fighting the other person. You're sparring, you're training, so that when you're in a fight, you know exactly what to do, and you can unleash and take the leash off and kick some ass if you need to do that. Anyhow, I started this journey after I think I was about 53. I'm now 58, and I'm still going strong, and I plan on going. I don't know how far I'll go, but I love it, and I want to keep doing it. And I'm going to keep learning and keep growing. And I'm going to keep doing martial arts for as long as I possibly can. So I hope that this motivates you to do something purposeful with your aches and pains. Make them mean something. Like maybe you get aches and pains because you're out there riding a dirt bike, and or you're swimming too much, or you're jogging, you're running in the mountains from a mountain lion, and you fall, but you get away from the lion. Everything has a story to tell. You hopefully have a story to tell. If you don't, someone else does. So I'm gonna leave it there because I'm getting a little punchy, I guess. But seems perfectly right to be punchy when you're talking about martial arts. So end with the dad joke. Keep kicking ass. This is your host, John Curran, on a Swift Kick in the Ass podcast. Until next time, Peace. This marks the end of another episode of A Swift Kick in the Ass, placing it directly in the can. As much as I like to talk, even I have my limits. It's time to go. Catch me on the next show. For better or worse, whether you like us or not, please leave comments wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Twitter. Visit our home on the interweb. I think you can leave me a voicemail there. You can also email me at john@aswiftkickintheass.com. It's been my extreme pleasure. I hope you got a lot out of it. I hope you got your ass moving. Until then, until the next time, I'm out of here. Peace.